called iOS 4.3. And to take us through some of the features of that, I'm going to ask my colleague, Scott Forrestal, to come up and take it through its paces.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks.
Good morning. So along with the new iPad 2, we're releasing the next version of iOS, iOS 4.3. And 4.3 brings with it some great enhancements and some new features. Let me walk you through just a few, starting with significantly increased Safari performance. Now, we took the Nitro JavaScript engine for macOS 10 and moved it on top of iOS. And now, with this engine, iOS runs JavaScript more than twice as fast as before. This is fantastic. Next, iTunes home sharing. iTunes home sharing lets you get at all of your music, your movies, your TV shows that are stored in iTunes on your computer directly from your iOS device. You just wirelessly stream over your home Wi-Fi network right from your computer to your iPad, to your iPhone, and to your iPod Touch. So iTunes home sharing. Next, we have some really nice AirPlay improvements. You know, it was only a few months ago that we released AirPlay. And it is absolutely the best way to get your photos, your music, your movies, and TV shows from your iOS device up to your television using Apple TV. Let's say you're watching a movie. This new icon appears, which is the AirPlay icon. When you tap on it, iOS automatically looks around your network and finds your Apple TV. There's no configuration needed. And when you choose Apple TV, you're now streaming your movie right to your television set. It's that easy. Well, we're making AirPlay even better in iOS 4.3. If you're sharing photos, you can now use all of the really cool built-in slideshow transitions from Apple TV right on your iPad or any iOS device. And also now, in iOS 4.3, apps from the App Store and even websites can now AirPlay video in addition to audio. So some really nice AirPlay improvements. Now, this next one was a very popular request from our customers. Some customers have said they want, and this has to do with the iPad slider switch on the sort of the top right of the iPad. Some customers have said they want to use that switch to really quickly mute their iPad, which is great, and that's the way we ship today. Other customers have said they want a really fast way to lock the orientation, right, to lock the rotation of the iPad. Let's say you're sitting on the couch and reading a book in iBooks, and you might lie down on your side, and they don't want it to rotate into landscape. And so they want a really fast hardware switch to do that. So in iOS 4.3, we're enabling users the preference so they can choose to assign whichever of those two functions they prefer to that slider switch. Next is Personal Hotspot. Now, this is a feature for our iPhone 4 customers. Personal Hotspot lets you share your iPhone's 3G internet connection over Wi-Fi to other devices. So now, getting on the internet from, say, your laptop is as simple as using Wi-Fi to connect to that Wi-Fi personal hotspot from your phone. Next, as you saw, iPad 2 comes with these new cameras on both the back and the front. And to go along with these new cameras, we've built in some new software, starting with Photo Booth. Now, those of you who have used Photo Booth on the Mac know how incredibly fun it is. And you're going to love it on the iPad. You know, let me just go ahead and give you a demo. So here I have an iPad 2, which is mirrored up there. And let me go ahead and launch Photo Booth. So the first thing you'll see here is that iPad 2 is so fast with the A5 chip that we're looking at 9 live video streams at once. And we can do this, and we have plenty of CPU and GPU to spare. Let me go ahead and choose one. I'll choose Mirror. Let's see if I can line this up right. like this, and you can grab your head and pull it away. You can take a picture of yourself doing it, so let me see if I can do that. So here I am. And there, I took two. And then you can share that with your friends. Let me go back, and here's thermal, so you can see what the predator how they would see me. And let me do one more. Let's say you're in a Picasso kind of mood, or some really bad surgery. So you can also take a finger and move the effect around yourself. So I can go there. There. Lovely. That's what I used when I met my wife. Right? So you can see that Photo Booth is incredibly fun on the iPad 2. And I know that my kids have spent countless hours playing with it on the Mac, and I know they're going to absolutely love it on the iPad. That's Photo Booth. Next is FaceTime. FaceTime is the best and easiest way to video conference. We support it on the iPhone, and we support it on the iPod Touch, and now we're bringing it to the iPad. You can FaceTime between two iPads, between an iPad and an iPhone or an iPod Touch, and between an iPad and a Mac. Let me go ahead and just give you a demo. All right. Let me launch FaceTime here. You can see I have my buddy list on the right. So I'll go ahead and choose Michael. So it's calling him, and in a second he'll answer. How you doing?
Doing great, Scott. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. I was just giving everyone here a demo of FaceTime. You can see already that the size of the iPad is just ideal for video conferencing. I mean, the person's face is a great size. You can see all their expressions. It feels very personal. You can also use both the front camera and the rear camera. So Michael, why don't you flip to the rear camera and show us what you're looking at?
Sure thing, Scott.
OK, Michael's been locked in a very sad cafe. I'm
Free
so
Wi-Fi,
sorry. Now, you could imagine, if Michael had children or something, this would be fun to look at.
Thank God.
I told him to bring a box of puppies, but I guess he didn't. Anyway, you can also move the pip around to get it out of the way, so it's sort of Pong. You can move it wherever you want. But FaceTime on this really is a great experience, and we can't wait for people to get their hands on it. And of course, from day one, you can FaceTime from your iPad 2 with all of the iPhone 4 customers out there. Thanks a lot, Michael.
Thanks, Scott.
And that's FaceTime. So these are just a few of the great enhancements and features that we're bringing out in iOS 4.3. iOS 4.3 will be a free download on March 11th. It supports all iPads. It supports GSM iPhone 4s and iPhone 3GS, and third and fourth generation iPod Touch. And that is iOS 4.3. Thanks.
That's great. Thanks, Scott. Now, in addition to these two new apps being built right into iOS 4.3, we've got two more apps we're introducing here today. And we like to do applications. We like to do applications because it gives us feedback, for what it's like to be an app developer, so we can make the system better and better and better for all developers. But also, it can set the bar. It gives third-party developers something to say, wow, if Apple can do that, I can certainly do better. And so it sets the bar pretty high for developers out there. And so there's two apps we're introducing today. And the first one is iMovie for iPad. And we have a long history of video editing. We're the largest supplier of video editing software in the world, we think. And iMovie for iPad is in that tradition. It's got a precision editor on it. Multi-track audio recording. This is not a toy. You can really edit movies on this thing. It's got new themes. You can AirPlay your video right to Apple TV from the application. You can share your videos in HD with some really popular sites. And it's a universal app, so it will also run on the iPhone. And to demo this, I'd like to ask Randy Ubelos, who's our Chief Architect for Video Applications, to come give us one of his great demos. Randy? Thanks.
Thanks, Steve. So last summer, we brought iMovie to iOS, and it was a big hit with our customers. Today, we've got a new version that really takes advantage of the big screen of the iPad and the extra horsepower that it has. I'd like to show it to you. When we start up the app, you can see our really nice new home screen with the old-time theater, really gorgeous display here. You can see each of your projects has its own little poster. There's a thumbnail of the movie, and the poster is based on the theme that's in the project. You can just scroll back and forth between these. Works great in portrait. It also works really nicely in landscape. And this looks really great on the Retina display of the iPhone 4 and the iPod Touch as well. We can scroll back here. I'm just going to tap on this one project, and we can edit. You can see we've got the nice editing interface here. I've got my timeline down below. It's fully multi-touch, so I can zoom in and out. I've got my nice video bin. I can see all my videos, and a nice big viewer for looking at my video. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of editing. So I'm going to scroll down here. Now, I can actually use, there's a camera button on the right that I can use to use the camera of the iPad 2 to record directly in the timeline, or I can go for my video bin. Now, I can just press and hold on a clip, and I can skim my finger back and forth to take a look at the video before it's been placed into the timeline. Or I can just tap on a clip, and then I get two handles. So I can actually choose the segment of the video that I want to put in. And we have two different clips here. I'll put in a piece of that one. Select the second clip. We have another shot of that, the girl going in the water, so we'll pick kind of a corresponding position there. Tap that, drops into the timeline, and we've got a cross dissolve between. If we want to do a more precise edit, for the iPad 2, we have a precision editor. So I can do a reverse pinch apart, bring up the precision editor, and now I can see all the content of the clip on the left before and after the edit, and all the content for the clip on the right. I also have full control over the transition. I can double tap, and we can set that to none, so that'll make a cut. I can press and hold on the top dot, and that allows me to choose the point within that video where we want to end. So we'll pick a spot kind of where she goes out over the water. Now I can press and hold on the lower dot and do the same thing. So we can make this kind of look like just a cut in the same shot. I can press and hold on the center dot as well, and I can roll the edit. I can add and subtract frames from both sides simultaneously. When I want to take a look, we just back up a little bit and hit play. Really easy to keep going and adjust your edits to get things just the way that you want. And with a pinch, we close it up. Now, one of the big feature requests we had from users was audio. We've done a lot of work in that area. I have a nice audio button here that I can press, and I see audio waveforms for all of my clips. These clips have several of these clips have been muted, which you can see from the audio that's dimmed out. If I want to turn the audio on a clip, I just double tap, brings up my clip settings. I can turn the audio on. I can also turn the volume up, and you'll actually see the waveform get larger. It actually shows me the change in the volume level that I've done. This next clip down here, we've got this guy going off on a zip line. It'd be great to add a sound effect there. I'm going to switch over to my audio bin, and we have sound effects here. There are over 50 sound effects that come with iMovie for use in your movies. Zoom down here, we've got this great jet flyby. Go ahead and add that, and when it adds, using the audio waveforms, I can see the audio waveforms not quite lined up with that clip. I'm just going to press and hold my finger on top of that audio and just drag it back, line it right up on the clip. Now I know it's right in place. Let's take a look.
I'm like excited, I'm nervous because I'm afraid of heights.
Really easy. We've got 3 audio tracks in addition to the background audio track for use for sound effects, and we have a voiceover recording system that allows me to record a voiceover right on top of my movie. Now, we've been looking at one of our new themes. We have 3 new themes that gives us a total of 8. This one's called Simple. And as you might imagine, it's simple. It's got plain white text and just fade through black transitions. Looks really nice. We also now have titles over stills. Speaking of stills, we also do face detection on stills. So when you place one in your timeline,